I'm Eunice, and I was born and raised in Uganda. Many people ask me, what is it like to be in Uganda? Many people think Africa is full of animals, so I'm a prison guard. I've been working as a correction officer for the past 6 years. So whenever I'm in the prison, the offenders ask me, what is it like to be in Uganda? Are there a lot of animals around? So in my mind, I'm like, if the animals were there, I would have been eaten by now. But I always tell them, I killed a lion with my hand, so they never bother me. Well, the turning point in my life happened in 1992 when my father passed away. He left behind 5 children and my mother. By then, she was a stay-at-home mom, and she did not have a job. Growing up as a child, it was pretty rough. We didn't have enough to eat because my mother did not have an income then. Life was so hard. Sometimes we had one meal, and at times we just took water. So as the pastor talked about doubting Thomas, I remembered myself. I was a doubting Thomas too. I used to think, why would a God who is so good make me suffer like this? But situations happen in life. So I built on faith because my mother was really prayerful, and she always taught us to be thankful. I know many times we are not thankful for the little things that we have. So sometimes I used to relate to the situation. So, Mommy, you want me to relate to the one meal and say, God, I'm so thankful? But anyways, I was really thankful still. So as a child, I was introduced to child labor at the age of 5. We had to go with our mother to the market to sell tomatoes. So some days were good and some days were bad because you're waiting on customers to come and buy your tomatoes. So sometimes we went back home with the rotten tomatoes. So that meant there was no meal for us that day. As a child, I used to cry a lot. So the people in the marketplace gave me a nickname that they still call me when I go back to Uganda. Kakavirai, a dialect that means a crier. I used to cry because I was a hungry kid. But I want to thank God for compassion. Through compassion, I got my sponsor. She's called Julie, and it's amazing how Julie came from Eugene, Oregon, just the neighboring state nearby here. Julie told me how much she loved me. I tried to relate my story to what they were talking about in Grace's story. It really made the same story to us. The little letters the time that you put into write a letter to a child really means a lot. In the letter that Julie wrote me, she used to tell me how much she loved me. As I was growing up as a child, my mother was really rough. I think it's a cultural thing in Uganda. They never tell us how much they love us. They don't know how to express themselves because they want to spank you all the time. So I used to think, does she really love me? But I'm so glad somebody who did not know me showed me how much she loved me and how much she believed in me. She always used to tell me, Eunice, you are wonderfully and beautiful made in God's image. As little girls, sometimes we lose esteem because you want to dress up, you want to have the nice shoes, the fancy dolls, as other kids in the neighborhood. So I was so embarrassed about myself because of the poverty that I grew up in. Compassion has given me a heart. It helped me grow spiritually, and it also provided for my physical needs. Indeed, compassion provided for my physical needs. I remember at the age of 9 years, I received my first pair of shoes. I know if I relate my story to most of the kids in America, they would worry about a brand name for a shoe, Adidas, but I was only hoping to just get any brand of shoes, and I'm glad compassion provided for the shoes. I went to boarding school in Uganda, so we had this couch. We had a 2-room, we would call it a shack. So all of us would sleep in the same bedroom. Mommy and my brother, imagine the boy, and the girls, all of us in one room. So we always had this couch. So they would tell us, whoever came back from school first, they'll be able to get the couch. So I'm so glad, because of compassion, I got a mattress, so I would never fight for the couch no more. Compassion provided for my medical needs. In Uganda, we have malaria, and percentage of the kids die from malaria every year. But I'm glad through compassion, I got things like mosquito nets to save me from the disease. Through compassion, I was able to go to school. I went through my high school, and I was able to finish my college degree in Uganda. I have a bachelor's degree from Uganda, from statistics. I studied statistics in Uganda. I'm very good at math, so don't play with me. I vividly remember my birthday. Every of my birthdays, Julie had to send me a gift. So on every of my birthday, we were able to get an extra meal or have some extra income to provide for us. In Uganda, having chicken is really a big deal. We always have chicken like on Christmas, and if you are so lucky, you get chicken on Easter. But so I used to tell my mother, "Oh, mommy, Jody sent some money. I think we're gonna have some chicken." So I remember in 2012 when I came to the United States, I told my friends, "Can you take me to a place where I can eat some chicken?" And they took me to KFC. I sat on a whole bucket of chicken just by myself. So the Compassion also does its projects through the churches. So on every of our Saturdays, we had to go to what we call a center project. At the center project, they teach us how to do like activities, we play with each other, and they also taught us how to read. Many times they would tell us to memorize verses, maybe you're gonna get like an extra cup of porridge. So I was very good at that. I remember they told us to memorize the verse, 1 John chapter 4, verse 16, where they tell us to abide in the Lord and he will abide in us. And that was a guiding tool for me as I was growing up as a kid, because I believe if I abide in Jesus, he would love me and he would take care of me. And indeed, he did not forget about me. Also, the other thing I loved about going to the project, we used to have 3 meals. I told you we never used to have meals. We used to have like a meal. We were so lucky if we had 1 meal a day. So going to the project, I looked forward to having the 3 meals. Today, I can testify the goodness of the Lord. I'm in Texas in nursing school, and I've told you I'm a correctional officer too. So I'll be finishing my bachelor's degree in nursing at Midwestern State University in Wichita Falls. And I also sponsor a little girl in the Philippines. And she'll be 5 years in July, just like me. I'm going to say July, baby. Compassion was able to sponsor 3 of us, and one of my sisters had an opportunity to be sponsored for her master's degree in Baylor by Compassion. So I'm so glad the same sister was able to put my little sister in school. And the last one, Emily, will be graduating in Baylor still for her master's too in social work in May this year. When you sponsor one child, you sponsor a whole generation. We were also able to move my mother from the small shack and built a 3-bedroom house in Uganda. Today, I cry because of the joy of compassion. I don't cry because of anger. I was once a bucket, like one of the kids on the table. Please go change the life of a child today. Thank you.